हेलो एवरीवन, दिस इज सिक्योरिटी बॉर्डर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। सितंबर मंथ की 2023 विजन आईएएस के मंथली मैगजीन कवर कर रहे हैं। सिक्योरिटी की बात करते हैं। बॉर्डर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर 31 मिनट रिसेंटली inaugurated 90 project of the BRO strengthening the border infrastructure of the country. These projects have been built across the border region of 11 states and territories of India. The border infrastructure consists of the airfield, tunnels, all-weather roads, fencing, and also laying of new railway lines. Airfield, tunnel, railway lines, all-weather road, fencing. And what is the need for the strengthening the border infrastructure? Developing the infrastructure as well as the livelihood of the bordering village infrastructure, livelihood, control cross-border terrorism and the infiltration, check left-wing extremism and separatist forces operating from abroad, check cross-border aggression on the other enemy, check smuggling of the narcotics and the arm, provide all weather connectivity to the border areas, enable a swift movement of the troop and ensure the supply chain. The challenges in creating a border infrastructure is challenging terrain. The terrain across the India as international border ranges from marshy land, salt pans, desert, valley, is river, forest. फॉरेस्ट है, रिवर है, वैलीज हैं, डेजर्ट, सॉर्प एंड मार्शी लैंड. सो inaccessible terrain, challenging terrain, political instability in neighboring countries such as Pakistan can potentially result in border related problems triggering issues like mass migration among others, like coordination between the ministries like Home Affairs and the Defense Ministry, which has led to the infrastructure delays in the border areas. Potential hotspot for radicalization, border areas suffering from economic underdevelopment frequency lack essential infrastructure, rendering them susceptible to the becoming potential hotspots for radicalization. Hot spots for radicalization. The northeastern states are marked with ethnic conflict, regional separatist forces making it difficult for border infrastructure. Ethnic conflict, separatist forces. Hotspot for radicalization. Forest border enables for criminal operations like smuggling, human trafficking, trafficking of drugs, weapon infiltration of the border region. Building of the large infrastructure project in these ecologically sensitive areas may lead to severe damage to the biodiversity of the region. Currently, all FA projects within 100 km of India's LOC, they are exempted from obtaining the environmental clearance. Underutilization of the fund. The Parliamentary Committee of the Home Ministry has expressed dismay over the underutilization of fund for border infrastructure and border area development program. Way forward, integrate the local communities in border management and make them as eyes and ears for the forces, promoting better surveillance across the border. Integrate local communities in the border management and make them eyes and ears for the forces. Eyes and ears, promoting better surveillance, reducing the distance between the inter-border hotspot across the open border, reducing the distance between inter-border outposts across open borders so as to reduce the cases of trafficking, smuggling, distance between the inter-border outposts, and reducing the cases of trafficking, smuggling, and fake currencies. Trafficking, smuggling, fake currencies. Utilize technology like LIDAR, laser fencing, flood lighting, CCTVs, drone surveillance, etc. in feasible areas of the border and create a border protection grid in every border state. LIDAR, laser fencing, flood lighting, CCTVs, drone surveillance, etc. in feasible areas of the borders and create border protection grid in every border state. Utilize technology like LIDAR, utilize technology like LIDAR, laser fencing, flood lighting, CCTV, drone surveillance, etc. Okay, like LIDAR. Utilize technology like LIDAR, laser fencing, flood lighting, CCTVs, drone surveillance, etc. Utilize technology like LIDAR, laser fencing, flood lighting, CCTVs, drone surveillance, etc. in visible areas of the border and create the border protection. Okay, LIDAR. Utilize technology like LIDAR, laser fencing, flood lighting, CCTVs, and drone surveillance in visible areas of the borders and create a border protection kit in every border state. Continuous upgradation of the present inventory of the equipment and accessories in conjunction with a new project so that they are also utilized optimally. Private sector participation should be encouraged and their capacities can be utilized in the technological. Private sector participation should be encouraged and the capacities can be utilized in the technology upgradation aspect and in context of electronic and surveillance equipment maintenance. Vibrant Village Program, centrally sponsored scheme which aims to develop the essential infrastructure and creation of the livelihood opportunity in certain district and border block of the 4 state and 1 unities, namely Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh. Border infrastructure and management, central sector umbrella scheme which aims to provide better road, electricity and communication infrastructure along the border areas. Road, electricity, communication. Comprehensive integrated border management system, an integrated system that utilizes high-tech comprehensive integrated border management system. It is an integrated system that utilizes high-tech surveillance devices such as sensor, detector, camera, radar system to address the gap in the present system of the border security. Comprehensive integrated border management system. Implementation of the recommendation of the comprehensive integrated border management system, border infrastructure and management, vibrant village, implementation of the recommendation of the Shekhatkar committee relating to border infrastructure like outsourcing road construction work, introduction of modern construction plans, land acquisition and all statutory clearance, etc. Armed Forces Special Power Act, AFSPA 1958, Union Ministry of Home Affairs has entered AFSPA in parts of the Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh by another 6 months. AFSPA grants special power to the armed forces to bring back order in the disturbed area. They can open fire, as asked by Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh, they can open fire against any person in contravention to law, arrest in such premises without any warrant. Disturbed areas, a part or a whole state duty is declared disturbed area when the use of the armed forces in aid of the civil power is necessary. And to restore power, declaration is made by the governor of the state, it or administrator of duty, or by the center. Immunity to the armed forces personnel, prohibition legal proceeding against them except with the provision sanctioned by the central government. In 2016, Supreme Court ruled that the armed forces could not be immune from the investigation for excesses committed during the discharge of the duties even in the disturbed areas. Treatment of the arrested person, Army authority is duty bound to hand over the arrested person to the officer in charge of the nearest police station with least possible delay. Officer in charge of the nearest police station with least possible delay. Applicability part of the Assam, Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh. Abuse of power, central human right. Concern के abuse of power, central human right. Prevention of the money laundering, maintenance record rule. Ministry of Finance notify the charges on the prevention of money laundering, maintenance of record rule 2005. Amendments aim to enlarge type and the nature of the individual. Type of individual and nature of individual who can come under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act ambit. Key amendments: ownership rule. A person having ownership of more than 10% of capital or profit of a partnership can be considered as beneficial owner. Okay, a person having ownership of more than 10%, पहले 15% था, of capital, more than 10% of capital or the profit of a partnership will be considered beneficiary owner. A person who exercises control over the partnership through other means, a person who exercises control over the partnership through other means will be treated as beneficial owner. Definition of the principal officer of a reporting entity: banking company, financial institution, intermediaries, etc. Only an officer at management level can be appointed as principal officer. Earlier, reporting entity had discretion to appoint any officer as principal officer. The reporting entity shall ensure that in case of a trust, trustees shall disclose their status or position they occupy in the trust. Reporting entities to keep the client record for 5 years after the business relationship with the client had ended or account has been closed, whichever is later. Prevention of Money Laundering Act was enacted in 2002 to prevent the money laundering and to provide for confiscation of the property derived from or involved in money laundering. Enforcement directed under the Department of Revenue enforces Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Fugitive Economic Offender. Asset worth over 1.8 billion recovered under the Fugitive Economic Offender Act. A fugitive economic offender is a person against whom an arrest warrant has been issued or involvement in economic offences involving at least rupees 100 crore and the person has left India to avoid the criminal prosecution. Currently, only 10 people have been declared as a fugitive economic offender. 100 crore. Fugitive Economic Offender Act 2000 schedule offences are counterfeiting government stamps or the counterfeiting government stamp, counterfeiting currency, check dishonor, transaction, defrauding creditors, money laundering, etc. Declaring an offender, an application will be filed in a special court designated under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. Now, Enforcement Director is the apex agency to implement the law. Now, it empowers the authority to confiscate the asset even when no conviction has been obtained. Rights in the title of the confiscated property vest in the central government. Appeals against the orders of the special court will lie before the High Court. Just lack of international cooperation on deportation. Deport नहीं करते हैं. Complex legal structure of different countries and jurisdiction. Priority areas of the fugitive economic offender. Law enforcement cooperation via information sharing. भाई देखो, law enforcement cooperation तभी होगा जब information share होगी. We need to enhance the integrity and effectiveness of the anti-corruption authorities, strengthening asset recovery mechanism. TTPS based cybercrime investigation framework. TTPS, tactic, technique, procedure. TTPS, tactic, technique, procedure based cybercrime investigation framework can help track and as well as classify cybercrime, identify the chain of evidence required to solve the case, map evidences into the framework to convict the criminal, track and classify cybercrime. It was developed by IT Conf with support from the Department of Science and Technology under the National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical System, develop a methodology and a tool for apprehending the cyber criminals' mode of operation in a crime execution life cycle. National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical System. It aims to develop technology platform to carry research and development, translational research, product development, incubating and supporting startup, and commercialization. Smishing a social engineering attack है. It uses the psychological manipulation and exploits the human error. Smishing एक social engineering attack है. It's a social engineering attack. It uses psychological manipulation, exploit human error, that uses fake mobile text messages to trick people. Fake mobile text messages to trick people into downloading malware. मैसेज आएगा, इट विल टेक पीपल, वो मालवेयर को डाउनलोड कर लेंगे. नाउ दैट विल सेव द सेंसिटिव इन्फॉर्मेशन और सेंडिंग मनी टू द साइबर क्रिमिनल. फिशिंग इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ स्मॉल short message service and phishing. Phishing is a broad term for cyber attack that uses social engineering to trick the victims into paying money, handing over sensitive information, or downloading malware. Main difference between the different types of phishing attack is the medium used to carry out the attack. So, ये है phishing, मैसेज के थ्रू. phishing is message. Spamophage. Meta has taken down thousands of Facebook accounts that were part of a campaign known as Spamophage. Spamophage was a widespread online Chinese spam operation which posted praise for China and criticism of the USA, Western foreign policies, and critics of the Chinese government. Similar campaigns by the Russia named Doppelganger was disrupted last year. It mimicked the website of the mainstream news outlets in Europe and posted bogus stories about Russia's war on Ukraine and then tried to spread them online. Bogus stories about the Russia's war on Ukraine mimic website of mainstream news. Defense indigenization. Defense Acquisition Council approved rupees 7,800 crore to bolster the armed forces. Defense Acquisition Council 7,800 crore bolster the armed forces. Defense Acquisition granted an acceptance of necessity for the acquisition of an electronic warfare suit on Mi-17 V5 helicopter that is sourced from Bharat Electronics Limited under the by Indian IDDM categories. By Indian IDDM categories refer to the procurement of product from an Indian vendor that has been indigenously designed, developed and manufactured with a minimum of 50% indigenous content on a cost basis of the total contract value. It is one of the categories of the procurement to the Defense Acquisition Policy 2020 to build the indigenous arm manufacturing. By Indian DDM. Defense Execution Council 75,000 crore bolster armed forces, expand necessity and acquisition of the electronic warfare system on Mi-17 V5 helicopters. Okay. Other categories of procurement: buy India, buy and make India, buy global manufactured in India, buy global. Significance of defense indigenization: security imperative, strategic imperative. Security boost up होगी strategy एक imperatives in the context of hostile neighborhood and changing geopolitics, boosting innovation and research in defense, reducing the current account deficit emerging from the defense import. current account challenges: interoperability of देखो इक्विपमेंट की इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी, यहाँ से वहाँ यूज़ किया वहाँ से, तो इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी. इशूज विद इकोनॉमीज ऑफ द स्केल इन द शॉर्ट टर्म. ensuring deep and sustained research and development and defense. Ensuring deep and sustained research and development and sustain. DAC, Defense is the highest decision body on the defense procurement, having the defense minister as its chairman. Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean Region. Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean Region. Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean Region 2018 में गुरुग्राम में to enhance the maritime domain awareness, share information on vessels of interest. Regions cover Indian Ocean Region and joining regions vital role in enhancing the global effort to combat maritime security threat, including piracy and armed robbery. Efforts to combat maritime security threat like piracy, armed robbery, contraband smuggling, IUU fishing, etc. Prelay ballistic missile. Ministry of Defense granted approval for acquisition of representative of Prelay ballistic missile. About the Prelay ballistic missile: surface to surface short range ballistic missile that is capable of being launched surface to surface है, short range है, ballistic missile capable of being launched from a mobile launcher. DRDO ने डेवलप किया. 150 से 500 किलोमीटर की रेंज है. पेलोड कैपेसिटी 350 से 750 ग्राम ऑफ कन्वेंशनल वॉरहेड. Unlike the intercontinental ballistic missile that exists the earth atmosphere, short range ballistic missile stay within it. ठीक है, एक्सिस अर्थ एटमॉस्फेयर को एक्सेस कर जाती है. इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल ये इसी में रहती है. वाई इट एज अ लो ट्रैजेक्टरी एंड लार्जली बैलिस्टिक, इट कैन मैन्यूवर इन फ्लाइट. महेंद्रगिरी Y12654, the seventh and the last stealth frigate of Project 7th as well as last frigate of Project 17A. Mahendragiri was launched as Mazagaon Dock Shipbuilders Limited in Mumbai. Mahendragiri, named a mountain peak in the Eastern Ghat that is located in Odisha. Project 70A frigates are the follow-on class of the Project 17A Shivalik class with improved stealth feature, advanced weapon and sensor, weapon sensor platform management system. Project 17A ships have been designed in-house by the Indian Navy Warship Design Bureau. Operation Polo. 75th anniversary of the Operation Polo is being celebrated. It is the code name of the military action launched by the Indian Army on 13 September Operation Polo, military action, Indian Army, 13 September 1948, to integrate the peninsular state of Hyderabad. It was launched because Nizam Mir Osman Ali Shah was planning to join India after independence of 1947. Hyderabad, Neoma Airfield, 75th anniversary हो गई है, 1948 में हुआ था. Neoma Airfield, Ministry of Defence has laid foundation stone for Neoma Airfield. Neoma Airfield, airfield कहाँ पे होगा? ईस्टर्न लद्दाख में. BRO will construct the India's highest fighter airfield in Neoma. Neoma village is located close to the south bank of Pangong Tso at 13,700 feet. Neoma is around 46 km from line of actual control LAC. Neoma significance of the Neoma airfield: it will boost the air infrastructure in Ladakh and augment the IF's capability along the northern border. Air infrastructure in Ladakh and augment the IF's capability along the northern border, counter China's strategy of anti-access area denial. Anti-access area A2A denial. Anti-access area denial A2AD involves restricting the enemy's freedom of movement on battlefield through deployment of a wide range of surface-to-air missile and long-range radars. Exercise in News Varana. It is a bilateral exercise between the Indian and the French Navy. Singapore India Maritime bilateral exercise is an annual bilateral naval exercise between India and Singapore. वरुणा. एनवायरमेंट की बात करते हैं तो काफ़ी लंबा होता है. Let's get started. Namami Ganga program. According to the latest projection in the Namami Ganga program, the installed waste treatment plant are capable of treating just 20% of the sewage estimated to be generated in the 5 major states that lie along the river. The projection has also revealed that out of the total 409 projects, only 232 projects have been completed and made operational. And about the national Namami Ganga program, it is an integrated conservation mission to accomplish the twin objective of effective abatement of pollution, conservation, rejuvenation of the river Ganga. Effective abatement of pollution को कम करना, conservation, rejuvenation of river Ganga. It also covers activity is under one umbrella program. Namami Ganga Mission 1 2014 से 2021, Namami Ganga Mission 2 2022 से 2026. Namami Ganga 1 14 से 21 is 22 से 26. Keep the central sectors team and National Mission for the Clean Ganga and its state counterpart, the State Program Management Group. Key pillars: sewage treatment infrastructure, riverfront development, river की surface cleaning, biodiversity, afforestation, public awareness, Indian affluent monitoring and Ganga. Gram major states covered is Uttarakhand है, उत्तर प्रदेश है, झारखंड, बिहार and West Bengal. Activity is split into 3 segment or target. Entry level activities immediate or visual impact. Medium term activities to be implemented within 5 years of time frame. Long term implemented within a 10 year. Challenges पहले ही पढ़ लेते हैं सारे. ओके. नमामि नेशनल मिशन फॉर क्लीन गंगा रजिस्टर्ड. ये एक सोसाइटी, नेशनल मिशन फॉर क्लीन गंगा, ये एक सोसाइटी है रजिस्टर इन 2000 सोसाइटी रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्ट ऑफ 1860. ये 2 टाइम मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रक्चर, गवर्निंग काउंसिल एंड एग्जीक्यूटिव कमेटी. Executive committee has been authorized. The governing council of the executive committee. Executive committee has been authorized to accord approval for a project up to rupees 1,000 crore. It is placed at the third place in the 5-tier structure envisaged by the Environment Protection Act 1986 for the river Ganga. Other tiers are National Ganga Council, chaired by National Ganga Council, chaired by Prime Minister. Empowered Task Force on River Ganga under the chairmanship of Ministry of Jal Shakti. State Ganga Committee, District Ganga Committee. National Ganga Council empowered task force in third place. State Ganga Committee, District Ganga Committee maintains minimum ecological flow in the river Ganga, ensure effective abatement of pollution, rejuvenation of the river basin approach, implements the World Bank support, supported National Ganga River Basin Project. Achievement of the Namami Ganga program: median value of the dissolved oxygen indicator of the river health has been found to be within acceptable limit as per the survey in 2022. Median value of dissolved oxygen out of the 1072 grossly polluting industries. Area 5 have important the Central Pollution Control Board's online continuous effluent monitoring system. The key initiative of the Clean Ganga Fund 2013, it was formed to clean the Ganga. It was set a waste treatment plant and conserve the biotic diversity of the area. Clean waste treatment plant, biotic diversity. National River Ganga Basin Authority was constituted under the provision of the Environment Protection Act 1986. It has been dissolved in 2016 consequent to the constitution of the National Council for Rejuvenation, Protection and Management of River Ganga, or the National Ganga Council. It was implemented by the National Mission for Clean Ganga. Ban on the waste disposal 2017. The National NGT banned the disposal of any waste in the Ganga, collaboration with other countries such as Australia, UK and Germany. Challenges क्या है by National Namami Ganga program? Delay implementation of the national. Many to the factors such as delay in handling over the land, delay in getting permission from the National Highway Authority of India and Railway. poor financial management. Only about 14,745 crore of the funds have been released by National Mission for Clean Ganga to the state government or state mission for the Clean Ganga and other agencies. Till 2030, states are dependent on the center for their fund. Namami Ganga strategic area of intervention. निर्मल गंगा, अविरल गंगा, जन गंगा, ज्ञान गंगा, अर्थ गंगा. निर्मल गंगा में सीवेज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होगा और इंडस्ट्रियल पोल्यूशन, वेस्ट वाटर रीयूज एंड रिसाइकल, रूरल सैनिटेशन, सॉइल वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट. अविरल गंगा मेंटेनिंग इकोलॉजिकल फ्लो, वेटलैंड मैपिंग, कंजर्वेशन, फ्लड प्लेन मैनेजमेंट, सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर, एफॉरेस्टेशन एंड बायोडाइवर्सिटी कंजर्वेशन. सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर, स्मॉल रिवर रिजुवेनेशन. जन गंगा रिवर फ्रंट घाट एंड क्रिमेटोरिया, कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट, गंगा रन, गंगा उत्सव, गंगा क्वेस्ट, गंगा अमृतरन अभियान. ज्ञान गंगा वाटर क्वालिटी की मॉनिटरिंग, हाई रेजोनेंस मैपिंग ऑफ गंगा स्ट्रेच, माइक्रोबियल डाइवर्सिटी, एक्विफर मैपिंग एंड स्प्रिंग रेजुवेनेशन, कल्चरल मैपिंग एंड स्प्रिंग रेजुवेनेशन, एक्विफर मैपिंग, कल्चरल मैपिंग एंड स्प्रिंग रेजुवेनेशन, क्लाइमेट स्क्रीनिंग मैपिंग, कल्चरल मैपिंग, क्लाइमेट सिनेरियो मैपिंग, रिवर सिटीज अलायंस. अर्थ गंगा जीरो बजट नेचुरल फार्मिंग, monetization of the reuse of sludge and waste for livelihood generation, public participation, cultural heritage and tourism, institutional building. Inadequate sewage treatment. Untreated sewage and the substantial industrial effluent are still being discharged into the rivers or their estuaries. Inadequate sewage treatment. Okay, untreated sewage and substantial industrial effluent are still being discharged into the river or tributary. This is because of the absence of the requisite functional treatment capacity. There are a number of authorities at the state and the national level which causes duplication of effort. There is a lack of the coordination among the agencies. There are a number of authorities at the state and the national level. बहुत सारी डुप्लीकेशन इशू है, बहुत सारी अथॉरिटीज है स्टेट पे नेशनल लेवल पर डुप्लीकेशन ऑफ देयर लैक ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेशन अमंग द एजेंसी, लैक ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेशन, नॉट मच एंथुसियाज्म इज शोन बाय द प्राइवेट एंटिटी एंड सिविल सोसाइटी एंड allowed to take extra step without being dependent on the government fund. Way forward verification. The existing and the plan and existing as well as the plant sewage treatment plant need to be verified on efficacy, reliability and technology parameters by independent. They need to be verified on efficiency, reliability and technology parameter. Revenue generation. Evolve new and innovative ways to generate sufficient revenue for the operation and maintenance of water and wastewater infrastructure through pricing and the valuing water. Restore the local storage, pond, lakes and wetland. It should be an integral part of the river restoration and the conservation strategy. It should be an integral part of the river restoration and the conservation strategy. Restore local storage, pond, lakes and wetland. It should be an integral part of the river restoration and the conservation strategy. Mapping and updating of land record. Map the entire looped length of each and every tributary of the Ganga and correct the land record. Start restoring lower order stream and smaller tributaries of the Ganga basin. Man of the strategy like river linking, river flood development project, access to toilet, making village open and traffication free. They need to be strengthened with long-term ecological and sustainability goal. Many of the strategies like river linking, river flood development project, access to river linking, river front development, access to toilet, making village open defecation free need to be integrated with long-term ecological and sustainability goal. IBPS, Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Service. Assessment report on invasive alien species and their control. Assessment report on invasive alien species and their control. Intergovernmental Panel Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Service. Assessment report on invasive alien species and their control. The report analyzes the extent of the threat posed by such species to various categories of biodiversity and ecosystem. It assesses the effectiveness of the current international, national and subnational control measures and associated policy options that could be employed to prevent and eradicate the extent of the threat posed by such species to various categories of biodiversity and ecosystem. It assesses the effectiveness of the current international, national and subnational control measures and associated policy options that could be employed to prevent, eradicate and control the invasive alien species. Invasive alien species, okay. About invasive alien species. Invasive alien species represent a subset of alien species known to have established and spread with negative impacts on biodiversity, local ecosystem and species. Alien species are animal, plant and other organisms that have been introduced by human activities to new region. All alien species are not invasive species as per the report. Invasive alien species are one of the 5 major direct drivers of biodiversity loss globally alongside path of land change, sea use change, direct exploitation of organism, climate change and pollution. उसके बाद invasive alien species. Common characteristic of invasive alien species are rapid reproduction and growth, high dispersal ability to adapt physiologically to new condition, ability to survive on various food types and in a wide range of environmental conditions. Reason for the growth of the invasive alien species: lack of legislation. 83% of the country do not have national legislation or regulation directly, specifically towards the prevention and the control of the invasive alien species. Nearly half of all countries, 83% नहीं है ही नहीं, और nearly half of all countries, 45%, they do not invest in the management of the invasive alien species. Many human activities facilitate the transport, introduction, and establishment and spread of the invasive alien species. It is estimated that by 2050, the total number of invasive alien species globally is expected to be around 36% higher than in 2005. There is a strong link between the volume of the commodity import and the number of invasive alien species in a region. There is a strong link between the volume of commodity import and number of invasive alien species in the region. Increasing international trade of the exotic plant and animal and the increasing international trade of the exotic plant and animal and the movement of people, including tourism, facilitate the spread of the invasive alien species. Climate change facilitate the spread and establishment of many alien species and create new opportunities for them to become invasive. Impact of the invasive alien species. Environmental, they have devastating effects on the native plant and the animal species, leading to the human-wildlife conflict. Invasive alien plant, especially trees and the grasses, can sometimes be highly flammable, and promote more intense fires. Okay, they have devastating effect on the native plant and animal species, leading to human-wildlife conflict. Invasive alien species, especially trees and the grasses, they can sometimes be highly flammable and promote more intense fire. Okay, leading to human-wildlife conflict. Invasive alien species, especially trees and grass, become highly inflammable and promote more intense fire. 60% of the global extinction have been caused solely or alongside other drivers by invasive alien species. Food security. Invasive species are the major cause of the crop loss and degraded soil quality. Invasive alien species are the major cause of crop loss and degraded soil quality. So they have negatively affected the autonomy, right, and the rights and the cultural identities of indigenous people through the loss of the traditional livelihood and knowledge, reduces the mobility and access to land, and increased labor. Reduces through the loss of traditional livelihood and knowledge, reduce mobility, access to land, increase labor to manage the invasive alien species. More than 2,300 invasive alien species are found on the land of indigenous people across all the regions of the earth. Health. Invasive alien species can serve as a vector for infectious zoonotic disease that can lead to epidemics such as malaria, dengue fever, chikungunya, Zika, yellow fever, etc. And the global economic cost of the invasive alien species exceeded 423 billion annually in 2019. Invasive 423 billion, with cost having at least quadrupled every decade. Way forward. Effective management. Biological invasions and their adverse impact can be prevented and mitigated through effective management of pathways of introduction and spread of invasive alien species. Pathway management involves strictly enforced import control, pre-border, border, and post-border biosecurity. Pathway management involves strictly enforced import control, pre-border, border, and post-border biosecurity, and measures to address the escape from confinement. Target invasive alien species at either local or landscape scale, site-based or ecosystem-based management, public engagement with citizen science platform or community-driven eradication campaign. Public engagement with citizen science platform, community-driven eradication can raise awareness and contribute to action that reduce the threat of invasive alien species. There is a need for a context-specific integrated governance approach. Involving complementary strategic actions such as context-specific integrated governance approach. कैसे governance हो जाए? Integrated governance. Enhancing coordination, collaboration across the international mechanism, regional mechanism, coordination, collaboration, developing and adopting effective and achievable national strategies, sharing efforts and the commitment, understanding the specific role of all actors, capacity building and targeted investment in research, innovation and environmentally sound technology. Capacity building and targeted investment in research, innovation and environmentally sound technology is required for the eradication of the invasive alien species. Capacity building and the targeted investment. Capacity building, targeted investment in research, innovation capacity building, targeted investment in research, innovation, and environmentally sound technology is required for the eradication of the alien species. Biological invasion is a process involving the intentional or the intentional transport or movement of a species outside its natural range by human activities and introduction to a new region where it may become established and the spread. Okay, initiative against the invasive alien targets of the coming monetary global biodiversity framework aim to eliminate, minimize, as well as the reduce or mitigate the impact of the invasive alien species on biodiversity and ecosystem survey 2023 global invasive species program. It was established in 1997 to address the global threat caused by the invasive alien species and to provide support to the implementation of Article 8H of the Convention on Biological Diversity 8H. Article 8H कहता है Convention on Biological Diversity calls to prevent the introduction of control or eradicate those alien species which threaten the ecosystem, habitat or species. Global Register of Introduced and Invasive Species. Global Register of Introduced and Invasive Species. It presents validated and verified national checklist of introduced alien and invasive alien species at country, territory or associated island level. Ramsar Convention ensures that the impact on the wetland for the invasive species is prominently addressed. United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Steps are required to protect, preserve the marine environment from intentional or unintentional introduction. Okay, intentional or unintentional introduction of the alien species. Okay, thank you.